Okay, I think I think we're live, but we'll wait for YouTube to confirm. Okay, I can see we're live on my screen. Awesome. Hey folks, so if you're watching this live stream, can you please tell me on chat if the AV is clear? With YouTube, I can never be sure. So let me know on chat if you folks can hear us and see us all right, and then we will get started. AV is clear. Okay, that's team 2 IIM. Thank you. Folks who are watching the live stream, Dhananjay, thank you. Thank you, Dhananjay. Pradesh as well. Thank you so much. All right, let's get started, folks. So welcome, everyone. This is very interesting session, part of our series of interacting with students. Okay, so at 2 IIM, we do these sessions quite often where we bring students from various schools, various courses, and have interactions with them, right? I'm particularly I'm a big fan of interacting with students. I think interacting with the admissions team and the dean and all of that is great, but I think just hearing it straight from the horse's mouth, hearing it from students is always very refreshing, right? And of course, students always come with a lot of energy and enthusiasm, so that kind of rubs off on me as well. So that's why I'm a big fan of these sessions. Okay, so I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Jatin. I'm the head of verbal ability and reading comprehension at 2 IIM. I'm going to be the host for this session. This session, as you know, is going to be focused on a specific program, which is Post Graduate Diploma in Business Analytics, or PGDBA. Right, so it's a program that's offered in collaboration with 3 institutes, which is ISI Kolkata, we have IIM Calcutta, and IIT Kharagpur. Right, so what we're going to do in this session is we're going to discuss the program in detail. Of course, we'll talk about the curriculum, placements, career paths, and so on and so forth. And of course, any questions from your side are most welcome. I have a set of topics that I'm going to cover with these students, which will take about 30-35 minutes, and then we can start with the Q&A session. All right, but feel free to keep putting your questions in chat, and then once the Q&A session starts, we'll try to answer as many questions as possible. Okay, all right. Now let me just introduce the students that we have on the panel today. Of course, these students reached out to us, and they wanted to conduct a session with us and generate awareness about this very interesting program, and you'll know why this is interesting straight from them. But first of all, thank you folks for reaching out to us and help sort of build awareness about this program. I'm sure it's a great program, and I'm sure our students here will benefit a lot from it. Okay, so we'll start with a quick introduction. Ramnath, if you don't mind, we can start with you.
So hi everyone. I'm Ramnath. I'm from Chennai, Tamil Nadu. I grew up in Chennai all my life, and I did my bachelor's from Shastra University in Tanjavur. My bachelor's was in civil engineering. Post that, I started working as a structural engineer in oil and gas industry. I worked as a structural engineer there for around 3 years, and I also was teaching for some time, for a brief period of time. And I joined PGDBA last year. We are PGDBA batch 8 of the PGDBA program. And yeah, that's about me.
Awesome. And interestingly, Ramnath worked with 2 IIM as well. He was a quant faculty, a star quant faculty with us. And I think that's how this session came about. So Ramnath, thank you very much. And it's good to have you back in a different version. All right, let's go to Mukul.
Hi guys, thanks for joining this wonderful session. My name is Mukul. So currently I'm in the first year of PGDBA batch 8. So prior to PGDBA, so I am a BTech plus MTech dual degree graduate in chemical engineering from IIT Kharagpur. So I am 2018 pass out basically. After my education, I joined Dr. Reddy's. So I worked there for around 3 years as an assistant manager for digital transformation and analytics team. After that, I joined Jubilant Group. So I worked there for around 1 year, and I was part of their business strategy and Six Sigma team. And post that, I joined PGDBA program.
Very nice, very nice. So Mukul, how many years of work experience do you have?
So I have total 4 years of work experience.
Total 4 years of work, and some sort of experience in the field of analytics as well, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. Amrita, over to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Amrita and I did my BTech in Electronics and Communication from NIT Silchar and I passed out in 2022, so I'm a fresher.
Okay, awesome. Good, always good to have a fresher in the mix. Karthik, go ahead.
Hello everyone, I'm Karthik. I graduated from IIT Madras in 2013. I worked for a year as a software developer. Then I did my MSc in mathematics from IIT Delhi. I've given attempts at civil services. I've worked as inspector of central tax for a year and a half. After that, I've joined PGDBA program. Currently in our second semester. Yes.
Very interesting background. So you've got civil services as well. In the background, you've worked in the government sector, and now you're in this domain.
Yes,
It's great. It's great.
And,
Very.
I must say, 2IM was a big part of my preparation. I used to watch a lot of your videos. So
thank you. By the way, I did not ask Karthik to say this. This is organic coming from him. But Karthik, thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. Okay. So folks, great. Thank you so much for joining the session. Let's start by discussing. Give us an introduction to this program, right? I mean, see, folks, this is for the audience of the live stream. There is not a lot of awareness, unfortunately, about this program. Okay. I actually didn't know that there was a PGDBA from IIM Calcutta and these two other institutes. So when I saw the curriculum and all of that, and the fact that it's a collaboration of 3 stalwart institutions, and it's been there for a while, I was kind of, disappointed that there isn't enough awareness about it. So folks, if you can just give us an introduction to the program, anybody can start. What is this program all about? Anyone?
So I'll go. So the PGDBA program, as you all know, is jointly offered by 3 institutes, ISI, IIT, and IIM Calcutta. So the design of this program, or the idea on which the program is built is that during your first semester at ISI, you will try to understand, try to understand about the data. You'll get exposed to subjects like statistical structures and data, inferential statistics, fundamentals of database systems, all those subjects. And when you move to the second semester, you will slowly start to develop models like what to do with the data, what can be done with the data, all those things. Those are the things that you will intuitively develop during the second semester. And third semester at IIM Calcutta is designed in a way to apply them in business environment and draw useful insights out of the data. This is the design of the course. And yeah, so.
Okay.
Anyone?
Okay. So you basically, you folks then spend time at each of these campuses during your 2-year program?
Yes, this is a fully residential program. So we'll spend each semester at one of the each campuses. Like the first semester starts out at ISI. Post that we'll be moving to IIT Kharagpur. We are currently at IIT Kharagpur right now. Nice. And the following semester would be at IIM Calcutta. And post these 3 semesters, we would have a 6-month internship at industry.
That's very interesting.
Unlike a regular MBA where people get 2 months internship, this is the 6-month internship would be at the end of the after 3 semesters, and it will be at the end of the program.
Okay. So two USPs that are straight away coming out. One is you get exposure to not one great institution, you get exposure to 3 institutions in the fact that you actually spend time there, right? Which is amazing. And second is the fact that the internship is actually a robust 6-month-long internship, rather than a standard 2-month internship in a standard B school, right? That's great. And ISI, by the way, folks, if you don't know about it, it's Indian Statistical Institute in Kolkata. Is that correct?
Yes. It was established in Kolkata. It has other branches also now.
It has other branches also. Okay, great. Anything else you would like to add about the program, folks? Anybody else apart from what Ramnath has mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much he covered what is there. It's basically at ISI, we study the statistical and machine learning theories. IIT Kharagpur trains us in technological aspects of analytics. In IIM, we get to understand the business applications. So it is like best of all the 3 worlds combined in this.
Okay. So there's the technological aspect, there's the application aspect, and then what was the first one? The sort of the theory and the introduction.
Theoretical aspect.
Theoretical aspect. Okay, great. That's sort of clearly broken down. Very nice. Tell me this. I mean, all of you are engineers. Okay, I'm not an engineer, right? So I'm representing team non-engineer here. That's what I do in all my interactions. Do you? My question is, do you have non-engineers currently studying and pursuing this program?
Yes.
In your campus?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So there are non-engineers can also apply for this program.
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about the eligibility criteria, please. I mean, there's a specific eligibility criteria for, let's say, if non-engineers want to get into it. There's a specific profile that you look for. Just talk to me a little bit about it, please.
Yeah. Suppose, let's say if anyone is from the BSc or BCom background, so he should have like 10 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2, that is like BSc or BCom plus MCom or like CA kind of background.
Okay.
Same thing is applicable for if anyone is coming from the like pharmaceutical background as well. So,
right.
And otherwise for the engineering, it is like 10 plus 2 plus 4 or like 10 plus 2 plus 5 kind of criteria, selection criteria.
Okay. So if it's an engineer, it's standard 10 plus 2 plus 4 or 10 plus 2 plus 5. If it's a non-engineer, you need a post-graduation or a professional qualification like CA for BCom students. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. And there are students like that. You have students from, let's say, the commerce background, economics, or even maybe pharmacy, of course, you've mentioned.
Yes.
But are there students from commerce background as well?
At the moment, in this batch, no. We have students from pharmaceutical background, and we have students who have studied in pure science background, who have done their BSc, MSc. I myself have done MSc. So this program accepts everyone, like provided they meet the eligibility criteria.
Right. Perfect. And I think I was talking to these folks earlier, right? And again, I'm team non-engineer, so I was asking them about this. And what they said was quite interesting. I think currently there aren't many students from, let's say, non-engineering backgrounds in the course, but you can attribute this to the lack of awareness, right? So hopefully through this session and the other sessions that these folks conduct on different mediums, we'll have folks from other courses join these other backgrounds join this course as well. Okay, fantastic. So the eligibility criteria in terms of courses is clear, right? But what about, it's a business analytics course at the end of the day, right? So is mathematics a requirement? Like what is the kind of like the profile of students that should apply for this course in terms of mathematics and analytics and stuff like that?
Anyone who is willing to study maths or likes maths should be applying for this course. There is no particular criteria that you have to be a mathematics background or something. Right. Anyone can apply to it, as we can see from the eligibility criteria. It's open for everyone. But the thing is that they should be willing to learn maths if they haven't already, because the course is full of maths and coding and stuff like that. So they have to like it, get used to it. If they are not even very good at maths, they'll get good during the course. They just have to like it and get comfortable with it. That's it.
Okay, so an interest in mathematics is required, right? An analytical mindset. Okay, yes. And folks who come, sorry, Karthik, you were saying something.
Yeah, and even if somebody is not very great at mathematics, as long as they're willing to learn, our professors here, they're really great. They understand and they are willing to help. So and the batchmates also. So
Great. So folks, let's say, who come from non-engineering backgrounds, right, and don't have a formal education in mathematics, are there like foundational courses for them to sort of build their basics or principles in mathematics before they start the actual courses?
Yes, at ISI they teach everything from scratch. Everything from basic probability, which is the fundamental part. They teach you that. The basics of Python and R you are taught in ISI itself. So IIT Kharagpur is just a level up of ISI. So at ISI, there is no tension. Everything will be taught.
Amazing. Okay. So all you need is an interest and inclination towards analytics and mathematics. And if you have that, if you clear, the institution sort of takes care of the foundation building. That's great. Awesome. Let's now talk a little bit about the favorite topic, obviously, right? I mean, everybody wants to know placements, wants to know about the salary figures, the placement data, and stuff like that. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So as per the placement figure for batch 6, so I think the placement, it was like around 29 LPA. That was the average package, and also it is on the website of the PGDBA as well.
Right.
And for the our batch 7, that is our senior batch. So they were also having the decent internship placement as well. So they will be having their final placement in the month of mostly in the month of February or March. Mostly the PPO there is a PPO conversion of around 70% for the overall batch. And most of the guys will be placed in the consulting domain or the data science jobs. So yeah, so everyone will be having the decent placements.
Okay. Awesome. So the mean you said is about 28 LPA, is it?
29.
Yeah.
29. And do we have an idea about the median salary?
The median is around 28. Yes.
Median is around 28. So pretty
I
close.
just
28.
want to add one thing there.
Yeah, Karthik, go ahead.
See, over the past 5 years, if you see, the average and median packages have been increasing. It has never come down.
Okay.
And that is a good signal for the next year batch. As Mukul was saying, they would be appearing for their final placements next month. So we expect that to go up even further.
Okay, awesome. And I was looking at the data, I think I think I looked at data of the last 3 years, pretty much the entire batch was placed.
Yes.
Right? Excluding, of course, the students who opted out of these placements. So you had like 100% placement track record. Okay, that's great.
Yes.
In terms of career paths, and I think Mukul, you touched a little bit on it, but maybe elaborate on that, folks. Talk to me about the companies that come to campus. What kind of roles do they recruit for, so that our audience has an idea about that as well.
The roles on offer range from consultant, business analyst, data analyst, data scientist. We have roles in HR analytics, marketing analytics.
Very nice.
You name any domain, there is data in it, there will be analytics role in that.
Absolutely.
And we last year we had every year recruiters keep changing based on our batch requirement and the requirement in the industry. So last year there were really good recruiters. We had I think D Shaw, Mastercard. These they keep coming, and also there are other recruiters who come every year.
Awesome. Okay, great. And I think you rightly pointed out, right? I think we live in an age, and especially if you look at any sort of multinational company or even an Indian company, be it any domain, whether it's marketing, HR, anything, there is data involved, right? A lot of decision. I mean, we have more and more decisions which are backed by data, right? So I think HR, for instance, as Karthik mentioned, people analytics is a huge domain that's catching up, right? So you've got analytics role in HR, in the HR domain as well, which is quite interesting. Okay, awesome. Let me take an interesting question from chat. So the question is scope of non-engineers in this program. So of course there is, the eligibility criteria doesn't restrict non-engineers from getting into the program. So let's say if there's an MCom or an MA or even an MPharm, right, who enters the program, does that restrict them in some way when it comes to placements?
Absolutely not. I feel like I mean there are a lot of scope for other people from other domain to get into data analytics and employ the analytics technique into their domain, which opens up a lot of doors. We do have a person from pharmaceutical background in our batch. And there are companies come from different domains, right? There are pharmaceutical companies, insurance companies who come and recruit people. So I don't think so. Non-engineers are at any sort of disadvantage as long as they're ready to learn and ready to get ready to learn and use data analytics in their domains. And to be honest, they're at more advantage because people will be looking for more. Industry would be looking for people from their own domains who could who has a knack of analytics and could employ it in their own domains. So yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
awesome. That's good
Just
to know.
to add to that,
Yeah, Karthik.
the two non-engineers in our batch, they are doing quite well
Okay.
in our batch. And as Ram was pointing out, suppose somebody comes for healthcare analytics, they would definitely prefer somebody who is from M-Pharma or some other relevant domain. So it is not an impediment.
Okay, awesome. That's good to know. Let me see if there are some. We'll take some more questions and then maybe bring our discussion back to the structure that we had in mind. Somebody wants to talk. They're asking about the batch size. What's the batch size right now? What's the intake right now?
The batch size is around 60 students currently.
Okay, 60.
Yeah.
Okay. And this year for the 23-25 session, it's also they're planning to stick to 60.
The approved strength is around 62 or 63, I think. But some seats may they actually do not fill everything. They look at your performance, and then based on that, they got 60 candidates this year, so they fill 60.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. This is the right time, I think, to talk about the entrance exam, right? Which I believe is coming up, right? Let's tell me a little about are the dates out? Can students still register for it? And maybe let's talk about the entrance exam structure a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, Ram, go ahead. Or Mukul, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think the online submission application date, I think it is currently going on, and anyone can fill the form. Next, the exam that is going to happen around in the last week of March, that is 26th March. Then prior to that, post that, there will be the shortlisting based on the computer-based test.
Okay.
Then there will be the schedule for the interview. So interviews that will be going to happen in the month of April.
Okay.
April 2nd or 3rd week around. Then the result of that interview that is going to happen in the month of I guess around the May or in the June.
Okay.
And the commencement of this program that will happen in the 3rd week of July. 17th July is the date.
Awesome. So folks, note, I mean, everyone, you can still register for the entrance exam. And I think the link for that, the important dates link is already included in the description of the video. If not, we'll include it as a comment there. But you can still register, and the exam, as Mukul said, is happening on the 26th of March this year. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And how, I mean, again, let's take CAT as a benchmark. How different is this, or how similar is this exam to CAT?
So like in CAT, we have there's a quant section which covers topics till 10th level, right? So we have time, speed, distance, and averages, and in the quant section, then we have a little bit of algebra, we have a little bit of geometry. So that's the 10th part. So for what's different for PGDBA is you have to learn the 11th and 12th mathematics, the higher mathematics. That covers calculus and higher geometry and like parabola and stuff like that. And basically JE level maths or JE syllabus is good enough for the math section. The rest, where it comes to VRC, we still have comprehensions, and a little bit of grammar part is involved in it. And then we have logical reasoning and DI. So you get to solve DI questions, like proper traditional DI questions, and some puzzles. So that's that. So the major difference that comes between CAT and PGDBA is the math section, where you have to solve higher mathematics. Okay. So if somebody is a serious CAT aspirant, all they'll need to do is bridge that gap, which is the 11th, 12th just the extra part. Because if you are preparing for CAT, I think the logical reasoning and the VRC should be good enough. The level of the VRC that you have already done is good enough for PGDBA. For the math section, yes, they have to work harder, a little bit hard, just to cover that bridge. Okay. And how does the exam structure look like? I mean, if these three sections have equal weightage, just as in CAT, or does this differ? So there are 25 questions in quants, and there are 15 questions in VRC, and there are 5 questions for logical reasoning and 5 for DI. Okay. Got it. So it's 25, 15, and 10 basically. In terms of the split. And out of these 25 questions in quant, I'm not sure if you can, I mean, I'm sure it's dynamic, the curriculum, but how many of these 25 questions, what percentage is higher order mathematics? It's basic, go on.
Yeah. So the mathematics part, quant part exactly. So I think the more extra part on which like any flat aspirant should focus. So I think the calculus part and the algebra part. So that
Okay.
additional thing we need to focus on here. So there will be some more questions on this part like algebra, geometry, or the calculus part.
Right.
And more for the other syllabus will be similar to the CAT syllabus only.
Okay. All right. So you're saying the focus should, the extra sort of questions that come through are calculus, more focus on algebra, more focus on geometry, because
Yes.
CAT tends to be arithmetic heavy. I guess that's the difference. That's the difference here.
Yeah, just
Okay.
to add to the examination patterns, there are exactly 50 questions and you have 3 hours of time. Unlike CAT, you will have ample time to switch between sections, and you can go through the question paper twice and solve all the questions. I don't think so. The question paper is easy. I mean, question paper is any harder when compared to CAT. As far as the VARC section and DLR sections are concerned, they both are on par with CAT. Or I would say like the VARC is slightly easier than CAT. And as far as the quant section goes, most of the syllabus, CAT syllabus covers the PGDBA syllabus as well. On top of it, you would have to prepare for calculus part alone. You would have to prepare some level of differential and integral calculus. I would say to start with, you can start with 11th and 12th standard textbook. I'm someone from State Board. I studied in Tamil Nadu State Board. I went through the State Board books, 11th and 12th standard textbooks to brush up on all the calculus part, and I did well. So I don't think so. Calculus as a part is not going to entirely define the quant section. I would say like roughly 25% of the questions would be from calculus part, like 7-8 questions from calculus part, if not max 10, and most of the other questions, rest of the 15 questions would be from traditional CAT pattern, like dominated with arithmetics and algebra. Yep.
Okay. So about 30 to 40% of the quant section is that extra higher order mathematics. Typically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And for that, you can go back to your 11th and 12th standard mathematics textbook and go through it. That would suffice, I feel. It is not extremely hard. It's not. It's probably not JEE advanced level and all. It is 11th standard, 12th standard mathematics, and any textbook of 11th standard, 12th standard would help you to crack the text. Conceptually, would help you to crack the examination.
Okay. Sounds good. One question that just came to my mind. So it's testing students on 11th, 12th mathematics. Is mathematics in 12th a prerequisite in the eligibility criteria? Is there some sort of prerequisite like that?
No.
Right. So a student who has taken commerce in 11th and 12th, as long as they have an MCom or a CA, can still appear for the exam.
Yes.
They'll just have to study harder.
Yes, they just test these things because at ISI or IIT, whatever we learn, they start from scratch, but they build upon this 11th and 12th standards, some basic concepts.
Yeah.
And as Ram said, there is ample time in the exam to go through the paper even twice. So speed is not a criterion here. As long as you do study well, prepare well for the exam, you can do well in the exam.
That's a relief. If
I were a student, you can toggle between sections. If I'm right, you can toggle between sections. You can go to, you can solve for verbal. Then take your time and go to quants. And I just enjoyed the exam. You can just toggle between sections and do it, and there will be ample time to go through the question paper twice. Time wouldn't be a constraint.
That's good. Good to know that. So 3-year exams. It's similar to, I mean, it's not the same, but similar to how ZAT is. You can toggle between sections. You have enough time. In fact, fewer questions than ZAT also. It's 50 questions in 3 hours, and you don't have to write an essay, hopefully. So that's a good thing. All right, great. Let me see if there are questions that we can answer. Since we're on the entrance exam, I'm sure this question will come up. But any sort of idea on the cutoffs? Every year, I mean, is there a certain sort of percentile that there's a cutoff? Is there a sectional cutoff? How does it work?
We have an overall cutoff, and the cutoff keeps changing every year based on the difficulty level of the exam.
Absolutely.
So, and one good thing is, I think for each seat, they take around 10 times of that for the interview.
Okay.
So I think the cutoffs are not very high.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's see if there are any questions. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Is there any work experience required to apply for this program? I'm guessing no, but if you can just quickly confirm.
No, but they do give a few points for people with so as to ensure a mix of people.
Okay. Okay. And this is in the PI shortlist or for the final?
For PI shortlist, it is purely based on the exam.
Okay. 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 But after that, for the final shortlist, there are work experience, and I think some bit of diversity points as well, right?
For the final results, diversity points are not given. For shortlisting, I think 2 points are being given. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, folks, we'll have all of these links are already there in the description, so you can have a look at that, and that should answer all your questions about this. So
just I want to add one point, Chetan, here.
Yes, Mukul.
So out of the 100 score, so for the PGDBA test score, so it will be like around 45 marks. Then the personal interview, it will have like around 40% around to that one. Then the part of class 12 marks, so it will have around 7%, and the work experience, it is having the 7%.
Okay.
So that is around 100% basically. So work experience, class 12 marks, interview, and the PGDBA test score. So these are the 4 components.
Perfect. Perfect. Thanks for clarifying that. All right. By the way, before I think I missed that in the beginning, but Rishabh says, I prepared with Karthik for PGDBA interviews 22 edition. He's just a brilliant mind, a true genius indeed he is. So Karthik, there's a big fan club there on chat going on.
No, he's being too nice.
Okay. Okay. And of course, you're being too modest. All right. Let's somebody by the name of Japanese language. All right. We'll go with that. Japanese language says, I'm working as BA in startup with, I'm working as BA business analyst in startup with 31 months experience, how to prepare for the entrance exam. So broadly, I think Ramnath did sort of touch on that, right? Revise your 11th and 12th books, but any tips on preparation for the entrance exam? Any other tips?
See, the level of the exam is not very high as in level of JEE advanced, but
Right.
if whatever Ram said covers all the basics. If you while preparing for the exam, it is good if you solve a lot of questions. It helps you in the exam. And from my experience, what I felt is if we take up any JEE mains level maths book, there are a lot of examples and exercises are given. Sometimes some of the questions also come from these kind of books with obviously numbers changed or something, but the models remain the same. So as long as you prepare well, maybe spend some 3 to 4 hours every day, or a few more hours every day on concepts that you feel tough. I needed to spend some more time on geometry and relate compared to other subjects. So it really helps you in the final exam.
Okay. Okay. That's great. That's great. And the good thing is, I think, sorry.
Yeah, I'll add to that.
Yeah.
So I would say regular 2 a.m. strategy. Start with giving a mock. You will understand where you stand and where you lag. So start preparing from it. So it would give you a general idea of which section are you doing well and which section you would have to improve. So start from there. That would be a wonderful point to start, and start today.
Awesome. Awesome. Any idea where they can access the mocks for this exams? Are past question papers available on the official website or something of that sort?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I think PGDBA.ml, it is a website.
Okay.
On that, you will get the idea about past year interview experiences.
Okay.
And I think on the PGDBA website also, there is a mock test, it is available.
Okay. Okay, great.
So
Perfect.
Every year, the admissions committee, they themselves make a mock test available 10-15 days before the exam. So apart from that, the previous year papers would be available somewhere online
on the internet.
And the previous year interview experiences and all are available on the PGDBA.ml website. It is run by students here.
Okay, perfect. So I think the interview experiences link is already there in the description. What I'll do, folks, is post the session, I'll get the relevant mock test links as well, and we'll put that in the description or the pinned comment, so you folks can access it. Okay, all right. Fantastic. So again, this question is being repeated. PGDBA only for engineers? No. Okay, you can go back and sort of look at the stream. We've discussed this in detail, but the short answer to this question is it's not for engineers. Non-engineers can also apply as long as you have a postgrad or you have a professional qualification like CA. Okay, all the details are included in the description. Please go through that. But the whole objective of this session is to generate awareness about this program and encourage people from different backgrounds, non-engineering backgrounds, to enroll for this course as well. So please go ahead if you meet the eligibility criteria. You don't have to be an engineer, but of course, engineers are most welcome. All right. There's one question. Nidhi is asking, do students get hired as strategic consultants apart from other areas mentioned? So consultancy is sort of one domain that you folks mentioned, right?
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
You do sort of get recruited for those roles.
Yes. As far as the placement goes, we have wonderful placement records. That is something a student need not have to worry about. As far as the roles offered, that would be in the domain of, that would be data-driven roles, business decision-driven roles mostly. And one question which I'm asked often is, would you? Do you have to code as a part of your job? Do you have to code as a part of your job? So I get asked this a lot. I'm someone who's from a non-coding background. I did my core engineering. I'm a civil engineer. I did my bachelor's from civil engineering. So I'm someone with no coding experience basically. But as far as the course goes, and as far as your job after the course goes, you would be required to code as a part of your job. And it wouldn't be like a full stack developer. You would have to sit and code through everything. It wouldn't be like that. You would be required to code some things as a part of your job. You would have to, handle a large amount of data. So which for employing some models, you would have to code. And coding, as far as the coding knowledge goes, I'm someone with who started out with absolute basics. I started coding after coming here. I started out learning coding after coming here, and I'm doing decently as far as the coding goes. So if you are someone who doesn't have coding background, you don't have to be reluctant about applying this thing. You can start. They start from our Python basics, so you can start and catch up with everyone.
Fantastic. And I think when we were talking about the curriculum, I think Mukul was mentioning, right? Everything is covered right from the basics as part of the curriculum, right? Again, sort of reiterating one aspect. And what these folks said was, as long as you have an inclination and interest in mathematics and an analytical mindset, and you meet the eligibility criteria, go ahead and apply, right? Don't worry about coding and all of that. Everything is covered as part of the course. And I can take my example from like 20 plus years ago. I was a BCom student, but I did learn coding. I did have a fantastic time. So you don't have to be an engineer, or you don't have to be a maths whiz to know coding. I mean, you can pick it up. All right. Let's see if there are courses. Interesting. There's one question about ChatGPT. It says, I know it's early, but with ChatGPT and software layoffs, do you think there's going to be an impact on placements and work mid-long term? So unfortunately, the flavor of the season, right? What are your thoughts?
I think the ChatGPT, it has been built by the data scientists, obviously. Okay.
Right.
So I think the data science, it is a magic, and the data scientist is a magician who is doing that magic. Okay. So, and we are hearing the news of layoffs in these companies, but at the same time, we should also understand the companies, they require the optimization kind of thing for their resources. Optimization in the field of process, their product, their supply chain. And if we see the optimization kind of thing, so it requires a data set. And that work will be done by the magician, who is the data scientist. So I think, although these news are there, but the demand of the data scientist, it will be there, still there in the market.
I agree. Yes. I agree with you, Mukul. I agree. I mean, I'm not an expert in this area, and I'll probably chime in later. Go ahead, Karthik.
Yes. So as Mukul said, ChatGPT is something that was created by data scientists. True. ChatGPT can give answers to a lot of things, provided you ask the right questions.
Right.
And the right questions, we know what to ask.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Given a real world problem,
Yeah.
on some company doing some product or developing something, and the manager sitting there or CEO sitting there, they don't know what to ask. It is a data scientist who has to come up with problem definition. They have to create the problem. They have to understand the data and how to manipulate it. And then, whether it is Python giving the answer or whether it is ChatGPT giving the answer, I don't think it is that big a deal. And as far as the software layoffs is mentioned, I don't think that so far has impacted that much, especially in the analytics community, from what I hear from the friends and seniors.
Yeah.
We are not that much worried, especially as long as data keeps coming in, as long as this companies want what do we say, data driven decisions instead of astrology.
Or instead of just instincts and gut
Yeah.
feelings, right? Yeah,
So
emotions.
don't
Yeah.
worry.
That's one of the things that we're actually taught. One of the things that we're actually taught. It's just not mindless coding that anybody can do, but it's
Correct.
basically the critical thinking that you develop through
Absolutely.
projects, through group work, and some things are there that humans do better, even till now.
Absolutely, and we'll continue to do better, right? I mean, there's no doubt about that. Just sort of chiming in again, I'm not an expert, but see, first of all, software layoffs, right? They're happening across domains right now. Okay, all this. If you look at Google, Facebook, all of these, Meta, right? All of these layoffs. There's no specific domain. It's affecting domains across departments across the company, right? And as Mukul mentioned, it's more of a cost optimization, shareholder optimization or share price optimization exercise, but there is no particular domain that is affecting. These layoffs are affecting, unfortunately, all domains. So I don't think there's anything specific to data analytics here at this point in time, right? And data still remains the new oil. Okay, you must have heard about this saying, right? And will continue to be the new oil forever. It's sort of seeped in, analytics has seeped in across all roles. Of course, you have specialized analytics roles, but in my corporate experience of 18 plus roles, I've handled sales, I've handled marketing. All these roles have elements of data analysis involved in it, right? So you can't really escape that. In fact, I would go on to say that this is one of the most lucrative domains to be in right now. So yeah. Okay. Let's see. Saurabh is asking, can we become a consultant in, this is like a coveted field, right? Every MBA grad wants to be a consultant in MBB firms. Do you have MBB firms visiting your campus? Are there consultant roles open?
Yes, they do visit us.
Okay, great. So I think that'll make a lot of people happy. Everybody wants to, every second person I think wants to become a consultant nowadays. So there you go. Okay.
There are a lot of consultant roles offered. You can just people can go through our placement report that gives us that also mentions all our recruiters, so gives us an idea of who's recruiting us, and there'll be a bunch of big names too. So do look at it.
Perfect, awesome. So the placement report is already attached in the description, so please go through that. Let's see. Any comments on the interview round? Already sort of going ahead, but any folks hopefully here will get through the entrance exam. How are the interviews structured? Any tips for interview preparation? Anything different from the standard B school interviews?
Yeah, so one thing here is that professors representing each institute will be on the panel. So you can say a minimum of 3 interviewers will be there. Last year it was conducted online, but this year I think it will be offline. It's mentioned on the website.
Okay.
So each professor takes turns to ask questions, and there is no saying which professor will ask me. In my interview, the IIT Kharagpur professor ended up asking business questions, and the IIM Calcutta professor asked probability questions. So but they do grill you based on your profile, your past, whatever you have mentioned in your bio data and everything.
Okay. Are they like stress interviews generally, or are the panelists sort of like relaxed and friendly? How are the interviews usually conducted?
Is very chill. They'll make you comfortable, but
That's
they'll ask you good questions.
Of course, that's great. I think as long as the stress is coming from the complexity of questions, of course it should happen in an interview, but it shouldn't come from the demeanor of the panelists, right? So it's good to know that they are kind of like relaxed.
I had a wonderful experience. I love the interview process here. Out of all the interviews I've given, I had 3 people in my panel, and most of my interview were questions from probability, and they give you enough time to for you to grasp the question, understand it, and they rather do not focus on the answer. But focus on how you approach the problem, how you grasp the problem and approach it. They give you enough time, and it was a wonderful experience. And they even drop you hints to how to approach the problem. And I absolutely love giving the interview. So yeah,
great.
For me, there was no grilling. There was no grilling involved at all.
Great.
They basically want to. They basically want to test your basic knowledge of maths, and whatever you know, you should know it properly.
Conceptual clarity, right?
Conceptual questions, really good conceptual questions. So you should be good with it. That can be probability, that can be statistics, that can be anything. Anything that you know, you should be knowing that properly.
Correct. I think. I mean, for what it's worth, I think that's absolutely the right way to conduct an interview, right? Conceptual clarity and an approach rather than the solution. Especially with like scenario-based questions or mathematical questions and stuff like that. So that's good to know that. That's I'm sure students would be happy to hear that.
Even they will ask sometimes like general knowledge related questions. Like for in my interview, they ask me about who is the governor of Maharashtra, who is the MP of Nagpur. I'm from Nagpur basically. That is why. So GK related question also you should prepare with.
Great. Mukul, I'm from Nagpur, by the way. Good to meet a fellow Nagpurian. Yeah. Had I known that you're from Nagpur, I would have given you extra attention in this session. Kidding. All right. Great. So, these IDs on YouTube are so funny, but do UG scores matter in the selection process? You know how a CADs matter, like a 999 profile or an 888 profile in a lot of top B schools, right? Do they matter as much in this course as well?
For the eligibility, I think there is a 6.5 minimum out of 10 or 60% minimum. Apart from that, they are not giving any specific marks for this. Only 12th standard marks. They give some points for that. In the interview, I don't think it matters as much. I'm myself not an 8-pointer in my graduation. And mine is around 7 point something. But they expect some clarity in what you have studied in your graduation level. They ask you questions and they will understand.
Absolutely. Okay, fantastic. So only the 12 score matters as far as the points are concerned, right? And you have an example in front of you. Not so great academics, but he's there and he's doing really well. Okay. Any sectional cutoffs? I think we did talk about it, but if you don't mind repeating, I know there is an overall, obviously, percentile cutoff of the entrance exam. Is there a sectional cutoff as well, especially for quant?
Last year there was none. This year we have to check the website.
Okay. So maybe folks, we can update you on that, right? In post the session, we'll get back to you on that. Okay. So Robin says, as far as I know, no sectional cutoffs. Great. Ria Lalwani, would you recommend PGDBA to someone wishing to be an entrepreneur 10 years down the line?
Yes. In fact, an alum of our batch, not one, I know of 2 alums who started their own companies, and I think one of the company came here to recruit last year. They are doing quite well. So
the alumni started his own company and he came back as a recruiter.
Yes.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah,
This is only batch 8.
And this is only batch 8.
And this is only batch 8. So imagine what would happen in future. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. Yeah, I think why not? I mean, again, I'm looking at it as, again, data and analytics is a part of every business, every company, and it's increasingly going to become more and more important. So I think as an entrepreneur 10 years down the line, I can imagine the importance of data and analytics at that stage. So if you have a solid foundation, why not? I think it's still it's a great option in my sort of opinion. Okay, right. I'll come down to the campus experience and all that. We'll probably end with that, right? It's been a pretty sort of serious session, so we'll end on a lighter note. But before that, let me deal with one more question. So it says, 1 second. What are the resources which we should follow for the prep? So I think Saurabh, we've covered that. You can go back. We'll probably include timestamps as well. They've spoken about how you can prepare for the exam in terms of mocks and going back to 11, 12 books and higher order mathematics and so on and so forth. We'll include all those details there. The second question is, does any past experience in analytics software like Tableau or Power BI help?
In the program, we learn more this Tableau, Power BI, etc. They're more about visualization, and here we learn more about modeling and inferential, how to bring inferences from the data. But yeah, when you go to placements or when you go to industry, visualization is a big part of the job. So it really helps you.
Okay, awesome. So definitely not a requirement, but it would help if somebody has a background. Great. One very specific question from Arvind Kumar. He says, I took the exam last year. I scored 105. As my UG was BTech food technology, I was grilled a lot in the interview. So how should I approach the interview this time? I can imagine him being grilled. Any tips on someone from a completely non-analytics background wanting to get inside this course? I can imagine them being grilled. Any tips for their sort of preparation or approach towards the interview?
See, I am from BTech in aerospace engineering. As I said, they do grill you from your background. Even though my BTech was finished almost like 10 years ago, still they expected things from me because see, one professor from IIT Kharagpur will be there, and if you are an engineer, then he would expect you to know some basics related to your course, related to what you have studied. So but again, the professor need not be from your department always. So but they do know stuff from all the courses. So what I would suggest is go back to your basics, just brush up some basics and study. That should suffice. And if they do grill you a lot, then at one point you can say that I do not remember, and that is not a bad thing. And I have said this in the interview, and I am here. Okay. Awesome. I think Arvind, just one tip from my side, right? I mean, shifting from food technology to business analytics to data analytics, obviously it's a leap. So I think the why part will be very important for you, right? Like, why do you want to switch domains, right? Do you have a clear plan, a career path in sight? What are your interests in analytics? I think that is something that you need to figure out, and I'm sure you already know that. And maybe I don't know, maybe usage of data analytics in your domain. That is an aspect that can come up in your interview. So think about that as well, apart from, as Karthik said, just brushing up on your academics and basics and stuff like that, right? So I think that'll be important for you. Awesome. We're coming towards the end of the session, right? So by the way, folks, important dates as far as the exam and everything is concerned. Registrations are open. We'll put all the data, all the information in the comment section, so don't worry about that. Talk to me about campus life, folks. I mean, you folks get to experience not one, not two, but 3 different campuses, right? Talk to me about your campus life, and focus a little bit more on the fun side. What do you guys do for fun, or is it just like data, and your life is all about data for the next 2 years? No, not at all. The experience is amazing. I mean, to say in a single word, we spend a semester each in all these colleges,
Yeah.
and each college has its own culture. We get to interact with the students there. At IIM Cal, we were interacting with the regular PGP students. At ISI, especially, I found some really nice MStat, MSQ, MTech students. We were chatting, and at IIT Kharagpur here, we are interacting with here MSc, PhD, and BTech students. So the interactions are really nice.
Nice.
Just last week, I think Spring Fest was concluded at IIT Kharagpur, and I mean, it was amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I think others should also speak. I mean, I'm taking too much time.
No, that's great. That's great. Imagine. I mean, we hear about networking, right? In the MBA program. Imagine the kind of network you would build if you're spending, getting sort of exposure to 3 different campuses. All right, folks. Anybody else? Campus life. Focus a little bit more on the fun side. You guys are too serious. What do you guys do for fun? Yeah, Ram, go ahead.
Right now we are at IIT Kharagpur. This is a vast 2100 acres campus. We just have to commute with cycles all around, and it's a beautiful campus. You would love the campus. When we were at IIM Calcutta, it was it had a whole different vibe. It was all I mean, every campus has its own perks, and you'll get to live through all the three campuses, and it will be a great experience to be there. And on top of it, you would have wonderful professors from all 3 institutes. That is probably the icing on the cake. You would love it. So the campus life goes at IIT Kharagpur. Currently, you spend roughly 5% of your time on cycling, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, it's so huge. So it's just to commute with
from hostel to classroom is around 3.2 kilometers as per Google Maps, I guess, from my room to the classrooms in Nalanda. So you'd love it. Every campus has its own experiences. Like I would have to, I mean, right from my room at ISI, I would have to walk for 5 minutes to reach the classroom, and yeah. I mean, you would have to live through to experience all. I mean, you would have to come to the campus to experience all these things. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay,
The
no wonder
best
all of you
thing
are so fit.
here-
Cycling is the secret. Yeah, Karthik. go ahead.
One good thing here is that when we are in these campuses, each campus has their own flagship festival, like
Right.
Kshitijan Spring Fest for IIT Kharagpur, and IIM has their Seven Lakes Festival. So these kind of coincide with our stay in there. So we get to enjoy the culture and the
Amazing.
students, their presentations and all, everything. So it's
Fantastic. Great. Amrita, what about you?
The same. I have nothing more to add. You guys have said it all.
Okay.
It's just that the 3 campuses are very different, and when you experience the 3 campuses, you can feel it. The basic difference between these campuses. ISI, you'll get it like everywhere. You can feel the mathematics around you, statistics around you. It's like a temple of mathematics. You see photographs of
imagine.
big mathematicians and Nobel Prize winners all over you. Then you'll get to IIT Kharagpur, the big campus, the acre, and such a vibrant feeling of different kinds of students, be it BTech to PhD. And then you get to IIM, and the cool MBA people will be there playing basketball at night at 2 a.m. in the morning. And the campus never sleeps, basically.
That's great.
It's
That's
beautiful.
great.
Feeling is
Amazing.
amazing.
I'm sure it's sort of very inspirational and what do you call it? Motivational to be in an environment like that, right? So that's great. Mukul, what about you?
Yeah, so for me also, like, till now the journey was really good. Starting from the pre-semester, like we enjoyed there, and getting the time to interact with the PGP student there, how their life is going. We enjoyed the seven day festival there also. Then coming to the ISI, so as Amrita said, so it is like a mathematics. So everywhere you can see like the professor, they are teaching about the mathematics things, statistics kind of thing. So that was a really cool part there. Then coming to the IIT KGP here, so we recently had the Kshitij Technical Festival and the Spring Fest. So we really enjoyed that one also here. And one good thing which is happening here, like we are roaming with the cycling. Cycling, like that is a really good thing which is happening with me here.
Right.
So overall, till now the journey was really good, and I hope in the upcoming semester, that is the IIM Calcutta semester, that will be also really good.
I'm sure. That's great to hear. Okay, so folks, they do have a lot of fun. Okay, don't go by their very sort of serious and professional demeanor in this session. I'm sure they have a lot of fun, and they get to enjoy not one but three campus fests. Somebody's asking which campus annual fest do you enjoy the most? That's a trick question. Do not answer. Okay, you don't know who that. Maybe that's a student from that particular institute. So I'll answer on their behalf. They enjoy all the three fests equally. They love all the three institutes equally. Okay, and that's not a diplomatic answer. That's a truth. I'm just answering on their behalf. Anyway, folks, thank you so much. This was a great session. As I said, it's always great to interact with students. You folks, the energy that you guys have rubs off on me, and I think it's always great to sort of hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Right, you're going through this program, and I can see sort of like the the genuine interest and appreciation that you have for your programs and institutes. That's clearly coming out. I'm sure this session was very useful for the audience. I hope this creates awareness and more people apply. Engineers, non-engineers, males, females, for this amazing program. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for taking out time.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Jatin. Thank you for hosting us.
Oh, no worries at all. Thank you for doing this. Very incredibly useful session. Folks on the live stream, thank you for attending. All the information is in the description. We'll add more information in the comment section as well. If you have an inclination towards mathematics, if analytics is your interest area, definitely consider this program. Okay. All right. All the best, everyone. And we'll see you soon in another session.